जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So welcome all to our Sunday satsang. Today we're discussing few more very interesting verses. So like I said, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th chapters are nectarian. So Krishna is talking about this material world today. So unfortunately there's no power, so we can't, isn't it? No power? Okay, so we can't display the verse. So if you have your pocket Bhagavad Gita, which is your mobile phone, you can open vedabase.io and go to Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 4. vedabase.io/en/bg/7/4. Okay, I'm going to chant the verse and I'll try to repeat. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा भूमिरापो नलो वायुः कं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इति यम्मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा भूमिरापो नलो वायुः खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इति यम्मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा. Okay, anybody wants to chant? भूमिरापो नलो वायुः खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च अहंकार इति यम्मे भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा. Anybody else? Okay. So this is a very beautiful verse. I can connect this back. Hare Krishna. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so Krishna, so last verse, Krishna says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kashchidetati siddhaye. So he said that it's very difficult to understand Krishna. That's what we understood from last verse. But then he says, it's very difficult for everybody else except one who is a devotee. Bhaktya mam avijanati. So one who is a devotee, he can understand Krishna. Now in this mood of devotion, we have to try to understand the rest of the verses in this chapter and subsequent chapters, right? What is the meaning of mood of devotion? Meaning understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and we are all his servants, eternal servants, and our position is to serve him. Okay. Now then the first question will come, okay, if our position is to serve him, then what is this material world? Why was it created? What is the need for that? Right? And so Krishna is explaining his material energies. Okay, so this is a very beautiful verse. So he says, Bhumi, Apo, Nala, Vayuhu, Kham. So these 5 things. are called Pancha Mahabhuta. 5 gross elements, they are called in English, Pancha Mahabhuta. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. Okay, these 5 are Pancha Mahabhuta. Then Mano Buddhir Evacha, and then Ahankara. Mana, Buddhi, and Ahankara. Then there is mind, Buddhi, intelligence, and Ahankara, which is translated as false ego. So we'll explain what false ego is. Krishna is saying, Ahankara iti me bhinna prakriti. Ashtada. So there are 8 of them. Bhinna means I have separated them. Okay. From whom? From myself. Me, Prakriti. This is called material nature. So these 8 elements, 5 gross elements, 3 subtle elements, they're called. Okay, the 5 gross elements are earth, water, fire, air, and ether. They are gross. Gross means they can be experienced by us. Okay, so they're gross. And then there are 3 subtle elements, which is mind, intelligence, and false ego. So this mind, intelligence, and false ego cannot be seen, but they can be, in that sense, okay, the gross elements can be touched and felt, like through the senses, right? But the mind, intelligence, and false ego cannot be experienced by our senses as such, but as in they cannot be touched, they cannot be, but they can be experienced by their presence, as in by the activities. We can understand that there is mind, intelligence, and false ego, but they are subtle. They can't be seen, they cannot be touched. So very beautiful purport Prabhupada is writing, so I'm going to read the purport. The science of God analyzes the constitutional position of God and his diverse energies. Science of God. Science of God means Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana. Okay, this Bhagavat Tattva Vijnana, what does it discuss? It analyzes the constitutional position of Krishna. Constitutional position means, what is his real position? Constitutional position means not in relation to some constitution. Right? What is his original position? What is Krishna? What is his position? And what are all these energies? So Krishna has 3 types of energies primarily. There are unlimited energies. Vividaiva Shruyate. So there is a Vivida, there are many different types of energies, but primarily they can be classified under 3. And Krishna is explaining these 3 energies in these 3 verses. Okay. The first energy is called material energy, or it is called Bahiranga Shakti. It is external material energy. External means Krishna has this energy is being, Krishna has this energy to just manifest and take care of this material world. So this whole material world is made of this material energy. And this material energy is made up of these 8 main elements. So now Prabhupada is quoting from something called as Satvata Tantra. Material nature is called Prakriti, or the energy of the Lord, in his different Purusha incarnations. Now what are these Purusha incarnations? So in the next paragraph, Prabhupada is explaining. For material creation, Lord Krishna's plenary expansion assumes 3 Vishnus. Okay, so let me make it easy. So Krishna, the first expansion from Krishna is Balaram. Okay. From Balaram, there are 4 forms which come, which are called as Chaturvyuha, which are Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. These are 4 forms which come from Balaram. Okay, and technically they are also called first Chaturvyuha. Chaturvyuha because there are 4 of them, and they are called the first Chaturvyuha because there is also second Chaturvyuha. So now from this Sankarshana comes Narayana. Okay, so Krishna, Balaram, 4 Chaturvyuha. From that Sankarshana, then there is Narayana. Who is this Narayana? He was one Vaikuntapati, Vaikuntanath, who is there in Vaikuntha. He is Narayana. Then from Narayana again comes the second Chaturvyuha. Again Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha come. Okay. From that second Sankarshana comes 3 who are called as Purusha avatars. These Purusha avatars are only in relationship with this material world. Now, till Narayana, Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, Niruddha, all of them are more or less their activities are in the spiritual world. They don't have some direct connection with this material world. But these Purusha avatars, as they are called, they are only in connection with the material world. They have a function connected to the material world, and they are very, very important to understand. So the first Purusha avatara is him who is lying there, who is sleeping there. Okay, those who have not seen that photo can see, or if you have seen, also again you can see. Okay, this is Mahavishnu. So this Mahavishnu is the first Purusha avatara. He's called Mahavishnu. Why? He's Maha. He's huge. He is so huge. How do these material universes come into existence? By simply his breathing. He is in Yoga Nidra. Not like us. Okay, we are sleeping in ignorance. But Mahavishnu is not sleeping in ignorance. He is in Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is transcendental sleep. And from his breathing, as Mahavishnu breathes, from the skins of his pores, from the pores of his skin, from the pores, from the holes that are there on the skin, Brahmandas are created. Just imagine how big he is. So it's not like, okay, big Brahmandas come out from him, but small Brahmandas come and then they become big once they come out. But these Brahmandas are all of different varied sizes. And based on the size and complexity of the Brahmanda, the Brahma, who is the creating person in each Brahmanda, has heads, number of heads. So apparently ours, in which we are there, how many heads does our Brahma have? Yeah, Chaturmukha Brahma, we have 4 heads. Our Brahma has 4 heads. This is the least complex of the Brahmandas in Krishna's creation. Least complex. And then there are, hundreds of heads, there are thousands of heads, there are lakhs of heads. You might be wondering, how will all these heads be? How will they sit? It's like that, like one, maybe 3-dimensional pyramid. You can think of it like that. Anyway, Krishna has his own ways to manifest those heads. So it depends on the complexity of the universe, and the complexity of the universe depends on the size of the universe. So ours is the smallest universe, and it is 4 billion miles wide. 4 billion miles. It's smallest, but it's 4 billion miles wide. And that 4 billion miles wide Brahmanda is coming from this Mahavishnu, and it is the smallest. So he's so huge, he's so powerful. And that's why it's called Mahavishnu. And how is his breathing? The extent of time that takes for him to breathe in and breathe out is the time of all those Brahmandas. That much time the Brahmandas will be there, and they'll be destroyed after that. Again, they enter back into the body of Mahavishnu. Just one breath. Over. Mahavishnu's one breath in and out, we are over. Just imagine how long it is. And you know how long it is? Our Brahma's lifespan is 311 trillion 40 billion years. 311 trillion 40 billion years. That is the extent of his one breath. Of course. So his time has different, what can you say? Yeah, dimension. In different, like in Bhuloka it is different, in Swargaloka it is different, in Brahmaloka it is different. Like that in Vishnu, for Vishnu it's different. So it might be just for him. But then in that time so many Brahmandas are created, destroyed. That's all. And we are living for one breath of Mahavishnu, not even one breath. We are living within that one breath, one speck of time. And we think we are great. We did this, we did that. And just imagine, does Vishnu even know that we existed one speck somewhere, sometime? Yeah, he will know if we are devotees, because then he knows our names. He writes down, oh yes, Urima Center, all these devotees are coming, okay, regularly. So he has attendance, he puts attendance. So this is Mahavishnu. Okay, now once one Brahmanda appears from his skin. Now this Brahmanda is made up of these elements. Of course, there's a detailed description of this creation. I'm not getting into. We will discuss that when we go to Bhagavatam. So this Brahmanda is just made up of material elements, and there's nothing. It's just layers of covering. It's just layers of covering, and inside that egg, Brahmanda, that anda is empty and dark. There's nothing inside. It's hollow. Ting, 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 hollow. Hollow universe he has created. Now, but then what is the use of this hollow universe? Is it for somebody to play basketball, volleyball? No. He created for all of us. We wanted this Brahmanda. So then he has to now manifest that Brahmanda. He create opportunities or facilities for us to live. So who is going to create? He himself will create. So what he does, as from Mahavishnu, he enters into each and every Brahmanda. He expands himself. So, for example, at one point of time, billions of universes have been created. That same Mahavishnu, he just expands himself and enters into each and every Brahmanda. We might be wondering, what is this expansion? It's difficult for us to understand. How can one expand himself? So there are two kinds of expansions. One is the government expands itself as ministers, meaning they're all part of the government and they function in different positions. This is one type of expansion. The other type of expansion is very, very rare, which is a person forming a replica of himself. Mahavishnu can form a replica of himself. Like it is said that human beings can have a maximum of some 7 separate existences. Like one person, by yoga siddhi, when you get that power, you can expand yourself. Like suddenly 7 forms will appear from us. And then we want, it can come back into one form. This is possible even humanly. For a human being, when he achieves what is called as siddhi, Ashtasiddhis. Okay. Now, Vishnu doesn't need all this. Okay. Vishnu is all these siddhis, all energies are coming from him. So just by his will, Ichha Shakti, just by his will, he just expands himself and enters into each and every Brahmanda. Okay? And inside each Brahmanda, he appears as Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. Garbha Udaka. Garbha means womb, or here it is body of Krishna, of Vishnu, because from that body all jivas are coming. So he becomes like a womb, right, for all the jivas. Udaka means water. So the water coming out from his body, he covers. Now the whole Brahmanda was empty, but he has to lie down somewhere. He needs some asana. So he covers that with half of water coming from his own body, which we otherwise call sweat in our language. But his sweat is also transcendental. Right? So that water is covering half of the Brahmanda. And then on that water, Vishnu lies on his Ananta Shesha. His permanent bed is available wherever he wants, whenever he wants. So he is lying in Ananta Shesha. And then what is Lakshmi doing? Lakshmi Devi doing? Pressing his legs. This is what you would see as Ananta, like Padmanabha and Ranganatha, and all of them are in this form, these forms, right? This kind of form. So it's called Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. Now, from this Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu's navel comes a lotus stem, or a creeper, you can say, a lotus creeper. And one flower comes up, one lotus flower comes up. And then on that lotus flower, Brahma appears. So Brahma's father is Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. Mother also is Garbhodaka Shai Vishnu. So Shastra says, so he is called Swayambhu. He didn't require a father and mother that way to produce him. He just was produced by the will of Vishnu, because he was the first created jiva. Why was he created? To recreate this world, this Brahmanda, to provide facilities for all of us. Vishnu is only providing the ingredients. And he is giving Brahma, saying that, boss, Abhi, you are the engineer. Go, create. What all is required for this Brahmanda to function, now you create. Yesterday I was in Ballari, and I was in some program, and one Mataji came, one mother, she came with her daughter, and he said, Prabhuji, ye Bhagwan mein manti nahi hai. She doesn't believe in God. Please talk to her. I was surprised, like she's just like 21-year-old girl. And then I was asking, saying that, why don't you believe? She said, have you seen God? I said, okay. So what does that mean? That you will believe God only when you see Him? Okay, fine. Have you seen how this material world was created? How was this material world created? She said, Big Bang Theory. I asked, have you seen it? No, I have not seen it. Who has seen it? Nobody has seen it. Right? Because at that time nobody was there to see it. So then why are you believing? That you are ready to believe. But whatever Shastra is saying, that you don't want to believe. No. She said, how is it possible? Everything should be man-made. Okay, so first thing is, who made this universe? Don't know. Okay, first issue, failed. Okay, now okay, fine. Assume that it is all man-made. Fine. Do you believe in Darwin's theory? She said, yes, okay. I know Darwin's theory. What does Darwin said? Darwin said that your grandfather is a monkey. You accepted him, right? She said, she was hesitant because I just said your grandfather is a monkey. So she said, yeah, she thought that. She said, okay. So he said, okay, fine, anyway, don't worry about it. Okay. At least human beings were not there forever, according to Darwin. They came at some point in time. Now, if this whole world is man-made, what happened before man came into existence? No answer. This is what we teach our children in schools, to become atheists. I felt so bad. Such a beautiful, wonderful description of creation and the powers of Lord that He is demonstrating, and so mercifully coming and telling us, saying that this is how I am creating. By your own brains, you will never be able to access this or even understand this. So Krishna is so mercifully and coming. In Puranas, our Acharya, Vedavyas, who is actually an incarnation of the Lord Himself, is describing this whole process. And we are intelligent Indians. We don't want to believe all this. You say, how can I believe? How can just one, something come up and somebody just becomes born and sits on it? Because you can't understand the powers of Krishna. You can't understand the extent of His powers. So you are questioning. Right? But you blindly believe the same, whatever statements of the scientists who have not seen anything, who didn't even exist when these things happened. How do they know? I got so upset, I told, saying that, have you at least read the life history of some great scientists, like say Einstein? Don't go and read Stephen Hawking, okay? He's the biggest atheist scientist, okay? Don't read Stephen Hawking. Go and read Einstein. Go and read Isaac Newton. Go and read their life. You know what Einstein said? Einstein said that we scientists are just discovering what God has already created. So, as a scientist, he believed in God. And we are now, in this holy land of Bharat, India, where all this transcendental literature was given in this land. And we are so modern now that we don't trust, we don't believe that. Very, very sad situation, unfortunately. Anyway, so Mahavishnu enters, and from his navel lotus stem comes out, and then Brahma appears, and then Brahma has to he is given the power to actually create. Just imagine, Brahma is not an ordinary person, he's a very great person, he's a qualified person. See, unlike our government, where somebody can come to power by buying some votes, it's not so in universal administration. In the universal government, you have to be qualified. And the qualification, if your qualification is seen in you, then you are given the post. Brahma is a post. The most qualified person in the Brahmanda is given that post. Most qualified person. And Shastra also says what is the criteria for that. It's not like I will apply for this position. No, you can't apply for this position. You have to live that way. You have to live in a particular way for you to be selected. Just imagine if our government also could have been like this, it would have been so nice. First thing is we would not have any government at all because there's nobody qualified. Nobody lives, right? When there's time for election, everybody comes. That's our fallen state. But universal administration doesn't work that way. It's all based on capability. Because huge responsibilities, just imagine creating infrastructure in one Brahmanda is not easy job, right? So Brahma. Then once this whole Brahmanda is created, then this Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, he enters each and every atom as Kshirodakashaya Vishnu or Paramatma. Okay, so Paramatma is there in the heart of every jiva. Paramatma is not saying, no, 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 I don't want to be in the body of a pig. Pig lives in some very horrible, dirty places. I don't want to be, no, because he is Surudam. He is our best friend. Paramatma, who is in our heart, is our best friend. No, you have a best friend. Best friend is always trying to tell you what is right, what is wrong. So Paramatma also is telling us, saying, don't do this bad work, do this, take this, but we don't want to hear, isn't it? We think we know everything. And because of that ahankara, that pride, that arrogance, because of which we think that we know everything, we actually have become deaf towards what Paramatma has to say. And that's the reason why we end up doing wrong things, why people end up doing wrong things. Anyway, so Supreme Lord is present in each of our hearts. We don't have to go searching for Him anywhere. He is there in our hearts. He is there here, so close to us, to give us guidance, to tell us between right and wrong. So these three people, these three personalities, Mahavishnu, or he is also called Karanodakashaya Vishnu, Mahavishnu, then there is Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and then there is Kshirodakashaya Vishnu or Paramatma. They are called Purusha avatars. And when you normally say Vishnu, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, this Vishnu is the last Vishnu. Kshirodakashaya Vishnu is actually generally called Vishnu. In Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, he is the Vishnu. Okay? Now because he is now taken the responsibility of the maintenance of this universe. He is the Palana Karta. He is the one who maintains this universe. And all avatars that come actually comes from him. From this Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, all the avatars come. Because he knows the situation within the Brahmanda. And when time is ripe for an avatara to come, he will then manifest that avatara in this world. Right? And so the Lord has innumerable avatars. So now for this Brahmanda to be created, these 8 elements are the foundational, or basically those 5 gross elements. So Prabhupada explains here, the material world is a temporary manifestation of one of the energies of the Lord. Like I said, Lord has 3 energies. First one was material energy or external energy. Second one is called internal energy. Okay. Now this internal energy is, its actions are in the spiritual world. The external energies actions are in the material world. Internal energies actions are in the spiritual world and in connection with devotees in the material world. Okay. Non-devotees are under material energy. Devotees are under internal energy. Okay. And the third energy is called Tatastha Shakti. Marginal energy. V. So we can, Tatastha means, marginal means we can either be on the external energy side or internal energy side. Either we can be in this material world or we can go to the spiritual world. It's up to us. It's up to us. Nobody is forcing us. Generally, when we tell people saying that come to some satsang, read Bhagavad Gita, I'm not getting any inspiration from God. God is not going to give you any inspiration. You have to be inspired, then God will give you facility. He says, okay, go. But the interest, the desire has to be in the jiva. So that is why we are called Tatastha, because we can either go there or we can be here. It's up to us. It's in our hands. In one way, in the sense to at least desire that is in our hands. If you want to remain here, He's not going to pull us. You just say, okay. But then He'll give us all these Shastra to say, no, why you want to be here? This is Dukkhalayam. This is a place of misery. Why you want to struggle here? Come to the spiritual world. He'll say that, but He will not force us. He will not force us. All the activities of the material world are directed by these Vishnu expansions of the Lord. These Purushas are called incarnations. So I explain this. Generally, one who does not know the science of God assumes that this material world is for the enjoyment of living entities and that the living entities are Purushas. Purusha means enjoyers. So who doesn't know the details of this creation. They think, oh, this material world is for my enjoyment. Material world is not for our enjoyment. Material world is for our rectification. This material world is for our rectification. We are in a jail because we are offenders. We've done something wrong. And material world is a place for rectifying ourselves. To know what we did, what mistake did we do. Okay, I want to correct myself now. I don't want to do the same mistake again. This is the whole idea of this material world. And like in any jail, the inmates are given some punishment, isn't it? Very some strict rules, and they're giving some punishment. Similarly, all of us go through punishments, otherwise called sufferings. The idea of the sufferings is just to wake us up to the reality. Saying, oh, why am I suffering? Oh, because I did something wrong. What did I do? What wrong did I do? Okay, how can I correct myself? No, I've done so many mistakes in the past. Now what will happen to all that? Do I have to suffer all those problems? All those, the karma phala of all that? This is the intelligent man. Intelligent man has to ask these questions. Okay? The ingredients of material manifestation are separated energies of the Lord. Vinna Prakriti Rashtada. Okay, so these 8 elements are there. And Prabhupada is saying the Paramatma also is not eternal in the spiritual world. It is just, so like I said, all these are only in connection with this material world. Yeah, so 5 elements are there: earth, water, fire, air, ether, and this called they are called the Pancha Mahabhuta. And then there are 5 sense objects. Sense objects are called Tanmatras. They are experienced as sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. So Prabhupada is saying material science comprises these 10 items and nothing more. So the 5 gross elements and the objects connected to that. For example, if there is earth, then there is smell, like that. So these elements have a corresponding. These are what are the sense objects? They're called sense objects. In Sanskrit, they're called tanmatras. So the 5 mahabhutas and the 10 tanmatras, these 10 is what material science deals with. This is called metaphysics. When you hear this word metaphysics just deals with studying these 10 items. And this metaphysics has atheistic metaphysics and theistic metaphysics. Atheistic metaphysics means they don't know where it has come from and they don't care. They don't believe that it's come from the Supreme Lord. That is atheistic metaphysics, otherwise called scientists. Mostly, they are atheistic metaphysicists. Then there are theistic metaphysicists, who are normally our Rishi Munis, who do this. It's called Sankhya. It's called analysis of all these elements. Rishi Munis are all, they knew that, okay, all this is coming from there, but how can we explain them? So let us write something to explain these things to normal people. So they are the theistic metaphysicists. But the other 3 items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by the materialists. Neglected meaning, materialist means what? Materialists are those who want to just enjoy themselves in this material world. They don't worry too much about mind, intelligence, and false ego, isn't it? They just worried about material things for their enjoyment. So in this, that Gita Sara Kirana, that book series that I wrote, I said that in that one thought, saying that, our mind has been troubling us from time immemorial. But we don't seem to be very much bothered about it. Isn't it? Our mind is troubling us day in and day out, but have we tried to find a solution to that problem? No. But all other problems, we try to find solution. If you have a stomach pain, you go to the doctor. If you have a headache, you will take some medicine. But your mind is troubling you, and we don't do anything about it. Prabhupada is saying that. So generally materialists, meaning normal human beings, they don't bother too much about this mind, intelligence, false ego. Because it's subtle. But the gross elements were very, very bothered. Touch and feel, what we can buy, what we can try to enjoy. That is what we are concerned about. False ego. What is this false ego? Ego means identity. Ego means identity. All of us have a unique identity. Okay. There are two egos. One is false ego, and then there's a real ego. False ego means false identity. Real ego means real identity. What is the false identity? False identity is something which is not permanent. For example, maybe I'm doing a drama. Okay, and on the stage, I'm dressed like some person, some character. That's not my real identity. That's my false identity for the duration of the drama. And once the drama is over, I take out all that makeup, whatever, that is my real identity. Similarly, this body that we have taken is not our real identity. It's false identity because it is temporary. Just like that identity that I took up on the drama stage is not like imaginary. It is true, but it's only for the duration of the drama. After that, it's false. Suppose I became a villain in some drama. It's not that in my life I am a villain. Just for that movie or for that drama, I became a villain. Maybe I put 10 heads of Ravana. Doesn't mean that I am Ravana in real life, right? For that drama, I am Ravana. So similarly, this body that we have is temporary. Which means, today if I ask you, who are you? Then you'll say, okay, you relate with your body. Now in the next life, if I come and ask you, you will associate or relate with some other body. Which means, this identity of this body as you is temporary. It's only during this life that you can identify with this body of yours. This is called false ego. Thinking that this body is me is false ego. Real ego, real identity is knowing that, okay, I am Atma. I am eternal. That is my real identity. Body is not my identity. Body is just a dress. That is why Krishna says, Vasam Shirirani Yatha Vihaya Namani Granati Naropurani Tatha Sharirani Vihaya Jirnani Anyani Samyati Navani De. It's just like changing dresses, Krishna says. Your Atma, you keep changing dresses which are called bodies. One life after another, you keep changing dress. That's all. So, what is the big deal? But that's not our real identity. Our real identity is that I am the Atma. The body is a temporary identity. Okay. Now these things are required to understand because Krishna is explaining the makeup of this material world, why it has been created, what is the reason, how it has been created, so that what happens. So suppose we see something which suddenly attracts us. We are drawn towards buying something. This knowledge has to help. It's actually the same 5 elements. These 5 elements are now presented to us in different forms, which might attract us. But when we get attracted to any material object, we have to just remember, it's the same 5 elements in different forms. Are we attracted to this sofa? Are we attracted to this chair? Are we attracted to a 2-wheeler? Are we attracted to a 4-wheeler? No, all of them are just different forms of the same 5 elements. So this is called illusion. If I give you a lump of those 5 things, earth, water, fire, air, ether, will you love that? Will you develop an attachment? Will you want to take that? No. But when it is given some different forms, we get attracted. In this material world, male is attracted to female, but both of these are also just different forms of the same energy. So there was one, to bring this gross reality in front of people. So there's one story which is described, a very, very instructive story. So there's some village somewhere, some town or whatever. There's one very beautiful lady. So then there was one very rich man's son. Okay, this very rich man's son became very attracted. Actually, this is stated in connection with Ranganatha. Ranganatha Swami. There's one person who was attracted to this lady, and he was so attracted. He used to go wherever she is going in a very respectful way, right? going, and he was really enamored by that person. So this lady also understood, saying that, oh, why is this person coming behind me like this? So she wanted to teach him a lesson. She wanted to just help him understand what the reality is. So then she spoke to him. She said, okay, you don't think, you come and meet me after 10 days. Okay, so he said, oh, okay, I'm getting an opportunity to meet her. So he was very happy. Now, what did this lady do in the 10 days? Like when you go to Ayurvedic, they do detox. Okay, so she did some excessive detox. She took so much of purgatives, the purgatives which like takes out stuff from inside your body, that she actually became like after 10 days, she became like a very like a sick person, and all her beauty is gone, and like looking very ugly and flimsy, and like, and then after 10 days that person comes. So he comes to whatever address this lady had said. So he goes there. Bell. This lady comes and opens the door. No, obviously he is not able to recognize that person at all. So he said, this person called me to meet. I don't know what her name is, but she called. So this lady knew that he is the one. So she said, okay, please come. And makes him sit, and he says, and so he's asking, where is that lady? Please call her. And so then this lady saying, I'm only that lady. Huh? You're only the lady. But that lady was so beautiful. I was so attracted. See, this is the reality. That beauty, that is why in English they say beauty is skin deep. You know why that is said, beauty is skin deep? When you go under the skin, it's the same kachada in everybody. It's the same. You have to just go under the skin. The skin is what attracts us. So we have to understand that it's all just different manifestations of the same energy of Krishna. Shankaracharya says, saying that, he's just generally saying about, this attraction towards, the opposite gender. He says that it is just another form of Maya. It's just another form that has been created. It's like Mohini Murti. Mohini Murti actually is very beautiful. Shiva once, after Lord Vishnu had appeared as Mohini, so attractive form that all the demons were all gone, like they just like fell off their chairs, right? And then she achieved whatever she wanted to do, which was to take the nectar away from them and give them to the demigods, etc. So all that happened. Then Shiva, Parvati, and Nandi, and all of them, they go to Vishnu. So Shiva is he is a great Vaishnava. Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambho, the greatest Vaishnava. So he goes to Vishnu, and Vishnu knows what is the deal. So Shiva comes and says, Vishnu, you are so powerful, and apparently you are that Mohini form was so attractive. Can you just show that form? Vishnu knows. Parvati is also sitting. Wife is sitting alongside. He says, are you sure? Yeah. Shiva says, yes, I want to see. He's just in a very, in some way, natural attraction towards Vishnu. So he's saying, I want to see that beautiful form of yours. And then some situation gets created, it's described in Bhagavatam, and then this beautiful lady appears, and Shiva is completely self-controlled person. Even Parvati cannot like agitate him. He's so self-controlled, But when Vishnu appeared as Mohini, he couldn't control himself. These things are described to say that, this Maya, this material energy is very, very bewildering. It's very bewildering. Meaning we can just get lost. So whenever we get attracted towards anything material, just remember this verse. Saying it's just all different forms of the same elements. We're just foolishly getting attracted towards it. It's like a well. It will pull us, then we will draw us, then we will fall into the well. That's all. And that's the reason why Krishna is explaining all this, saying that, see, everything is just these energies. Prabhupada is saying everything material is nothing but these 10 things. Nothing else. There's nothing else. What is the only attracting element in every jiva is the Atma. Without that Atma, that body is dead. Will we get attracted towards a dead body? No. That dead body might have the same beauty, same whatever qualification, but we are not going to get attracted. Why? Because that living force is not there. The living force is what attracts us. That living force is Atma, which is us. Putting that aside, putting that living force aside, putting the Atma aside, everything is just dead matter. Okay, this is the basic reality of this, and this whole analysis is called Sankhya, like I said, theistic Sankhya, atheistic Sankhya. But the whole idea is to actually understand this, that this whole material world is just made of this dead matter. Body is dead matter, isn't it? Body is dead matter. It's nothing different from this piece of wood. But why am I feeling pain and pleasure? Because Atma is there inside. That's the only reason I'm feeling pain and pleasure of this body. Otherwise, once the Atma leaves the body, if you cut, pinch, do whatever, poke, nothing will happen, because that body is dead. Dead means devoid of Atma. No Atma. So please understand that Atma is the most important thing, not these 10 elements. These elements have been given for us so that we can rectify ourselves and go back to Krishna. That's all. These elements have been given. For example, this place. What is the difference between this place and any other building? It's made of the same things, same ingredients, right? But it's being used for Krishna's service. It's not being used for our sense gratification. Somebody might sit in a restaurant or a bar and enjoy themselves. It's the same building. It's a similar building. It's made of the same elements, but it's being used for sense gratification, for drawing myself deeper and deeper, getting entangled in the material world. And the same elements have been used in a temple to pull us out of this entanglement. So we have to see that. We have to see the purpose. That is why this is called Yukta Vairagya. It's not like we don't want building. Oh, no, I'm going to be on the street. No, if I'm going to be on the street, Prabhupada used to say that, we can be on the street, but how will people come and hear from us? So for them to sit and hear, we have to create one conducive environment, which is called a temple. So that is Yukta Vairagya, which means using whatever Krishna has given all these elements in his service. That is the purpose of these elements. Okay, so we have to remember this and not get enamored by this material world around us. So this is the first of the 3 verses. So next week again we'll continue this. In the second verse, Krishna is talking about us. First verse he talked about all the elements. Next he is saying, what are we trying to do here? Very, very beautiful verse, like shake us up. So we'll discuss this next week. Okay, so 2 more verses and then we will have a complete understanding of this material world. And once we have understanding, please see the world now with new spectacles, new pair of eyes. Powered by the knowledge from these verses, we have to start seeing this world differently. That's the whole idea. Okay, otherwise we are not interested in some physics. We're not interested in understanding some physics, chemistry and all that. That's not our intent. Our intent is, now can I get a new vision? Can I see this world differently? And that's the reason Krishna is giving this piece of knowledge here. Okay, so I'll stop here. If there are any questions, comments, anything, anybody? Yeah.
If I understood right, Brahma created jivas.
Brahma did not create the jivas. Brahma created the things required for the jivas. Jivas are all eternal. We are all part of Mahavishnu. So, the way it happens is, Bhagavad Gita says, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. So, like, we have 3 states. We have unmanifest state, manifest state, and again unmanifest state. Like, it keeps going on, right? Unmanifest means we are not present. Then we become present. Then we become again absent. This is called manifest, unmanifest. So, we are all jivas, and we are actually those jivas who are in connection with the material world. We are normally in Mahavishnu's body. And when it is time for us to get a body, Mahavishnu creates this Brahmanda. And then next he tells Brahma, saying that, see, all these jivas are there, they need bodies. On what basis? This is their karma. This is the type of body that they require. So all specifications are there for Brahma. He feeds all of that in his computer, and then all different types of shapes of bodies come out. It's like that. So his job is to give us this body, and then that is done by material energy. by Durga. She is the one actually, she is the mother, and Shiva is the father. So they are actually the ones who are actually giving us the body. But Brahma is just, like overseeing all this. Okay, different people have different jobs to do. He's like a manager, right? And some things he creates, like for example, there are Manasa Putras, from his mind he creates some sons. Then there are Prajapatis he creates, and then he wants to increase the population. Why? Because those jivas are there. Now they have to appear in this material world. How will they appear? Through, husband and wife, right? So all these things he creates. He creates the environment so that finally we come here into this material world, we get a certain type of body, we get whatever facilities we require based on our previous karma, good, bad, ugly. All that Brahma creates.
Atma and Jiva mean the same?
Same.
But these are the Jivas that wanted to be.
Yes, perfect. There are others who are in the spiritual world, who are eternally, happily serving the Lord. And we are those special jivas, who rebelled against the Lord, saying that, no, I don't want to serve you. I want to go to the material world. Krishna said, don't go, you're going to suffer. He said, no, I know everything. Isn't it? You always say, I know everything. We go to distribute books. People say, no, I have Bhagavad Gita. I know everything. Please don't bother me. This is our fallen state. Though we are fallen here, we think we know everything. And our whole idea of human life is to actually come out of this illusion, know the reality, and then go back to the reality. Connect back to the reality. Right? We are in now a dream state. This is a dream state. That is why this is called illusory. Meaning it doesn't exist permanently. It's just temporary. Just like our body, this world is temporary. That is why in Karnataka there are great devotees who are called dasas. So they say, "Namma mane what is that? Allide nammane illi bandidivi summane." So in Kannada it says, our house is there, but we simply come here. Simply in English it says simply, meaning no purpose. Why your house is there? Why have you come here? Simply we said, no, I want to go and check out what is there in the material world. We came here to check out and we got stuck. Now we are trying to figure out ways to go back. And when we say, human life is about figuring out a way to go back, we say, why? I'm happy here. I'm struggling here, but I'm happy. My question is, why can't you be happy without struggling? Do people, human beings, think anytime like this? That is called intelligence, saying that I don't want to suffer. Why? Oh, no, this is how this world is designed. Okay, then I want different world. I want to go to another world where there is no suffering. This is human intelligence. This is real human intelligence. To ask this question, saying that I want to be happy, that's it, full stop. Don't put star. Your happiness will come after so much distress. No, not required. I want happiness. What should I do? That's what Krishna is teaching in Bhagavad Gita.
All jivas are eligible to go to the...
Yes, all jivas. All jivas are eligible. There is no question of eligibility at all. The only eligibility is our desire. It's just our desire. That's all. Which is why actually, see, the central message of the Shastra is saying that, see, you wanted to be here, so you're here. You wanted to achieve something in the material world, so you're achieving. Similarly, that is all because of your desire. Nobody became something without having a desire to become that, right? So, similarly, the Shastra is read Shastra, hear Shastra, and then develop the desire to go back. And once we develop the desire, the process starts. After that, extrication happens. We get pulled out. It's just a matter of time. That's all. Very nice. Thank you. Very nice questions. Okay, anything else? Yes, Prabhu.
One more question. So, Srila Prabhupada in this particular verse, so he has more emphasized on that the material energy is the separate.
Yeah.
He separated it out from the actual energy of the Lord.
Not actual energy. Lord has multiple energies. One of it is material energy, which is a little bit low class energy. Okay, so Lord is always with his high class energy, which is internal energy. The external energy is low class energy because it has been made for our rectification. So that way he says it is separated from you. Meaning, separated means that it is not acting independently. It is under Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suhite Characharam. Krishna says, no, it's also under my control only. but it's not very dear to me. Because I don't like all the jivas stuck here and suffering in this material world. I don't like that. So in that way, it's separated. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita subsequently also says, Udasinavat. He's very like indifferent towards this material world. He doesn't like this material world much. We just created it because we wanted it.
And additional question is like this material energy, right? So though it is coming from the source, it is not sharing all the qualities.
Yeah.
But
Which is
living entities, we are sharing some of the qualities.
correct. Which is why, actually, very good question. What Prabhu is asking is, so I didn't explain that. So the material energy is dead matter. So it is inferior energy. Okay, and we as jivas or atma, we are actually superior energy because we have living force, right? So we are superior to dull matter. Now Bhagavatam says that though the jiva who is actually superior, but he has come under the control of inferior. This is our big problem. Some high class person suddenly came under the control of some low class person. How will you feel? Gee, why did that person associate with that low class person? This is our position. So we are part and parcel of Krishna. We have some of the qualities of Krishna also. We have, to some extent, we have qualities of Krishna, but to very, very minute quantity. But external energy doesn't have any of that. External energy is dead. Dead low class energy. Now we are attached to that low class energy. It's like just gross, just saying, like some very well situated person becomes attached to some prostitute. Our position is like that. Some low class energy we got attached to her and we are holding on to her. And then divine energy is there saying that, Arey Baba, I am your mother. Why are you stuck there? Wrong place. Come here. That's what Bhagavad Gita is doing. Yeah. So we are high class, but we have got stuck with low class. That's our problem. Okay.
What about the sun and the moon?
They are all these devatas. See, the sun, moon are actually made of material elements. Okay, sun is made predominantly from fire, like that, right? So all these different so-called what we call as planets are also made of these material energies only. Okay, but they also have presiding deities or presidents. You can call them presidents. Okay, which is called the sun god, the moon god, etc. Surya, Chandra, etc. They are the presidents of those universes. Okay, now these planets also have some role to play in this whole creation. And what is the role they play? What we call as this Navagraha. This Navagraha, the 9 planets, specifically have direct influence on human beings. They are the means through which our karma phala is given to us. They are the means, those Navagrahas. Okay, that is why a lot of people run behind, and Navagrahas, and they go to the temple, they don't see, they go to Navagraha, they think that, we're just going round pradakshina, something will happen. But yes, they are amongst so many billions of planets. These are the main planets, main entities that are out there which control our life. So more important, there are 33 crore demigods, but some of these are more important ones. They are the more important ones, and they have significant impact on our life. Of course, when Krishna says, when you come to me, I will take care of all of them, don't worry. Right? But otherwise, they have serious influence on us. Yeah, so Krishna splendor. So that is why Krishna, in these things we are going to discuss further, right? So Krishna says, everything is just a drop of my splendor. Because everything came from him only, right? Where did all these material ingredients come from? Vishnu. So, but he is saying something extraordinary in this material world. You can see that and feel that it is representative of my power. You can remember me. So when you see among Adityas, it is, like Surya, right? He's so much power. What? Just imagine this material world without sun. That is why we say it is Narayana. We say Surya Narayana. Why? Because Surya is also a manifestation of Narayana. Expansion of Narayana. Then there is also Surya Deva. So, but the important thing is that all these important energies are just Krishna saying, drop of my splendor. Drop. With a drop, Krishna is creating all this. But they are very, very important personalities in connection with this material world. So we can't like just ignore them. At the same time, they're just drop in front of Supreme Lord. They're nothing, just a speck. Is that okay, Mataji? Okay, nice, thank you. So many nice questions. It enlivens. Okay, Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Hare Krishna.